Hello everyone, and welcome to Noodle Journey, your destination for detailed and informative reviews of the instant noodle universe. And today, I've got what I think is a pretty cool one to show you as we take a look at Maruchan's Midori no Tanuki Soba noodle soup. Before we get started, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this content. Now, Maruchan is pretty badly underrepresented on my channel, but that's not entirely my fault. Most of their interesting stuff is available only overseas, and you have to import it. Otherwise, aside from those two products in the Maruchan Gold line, which I love and reviewed a while back, all you get in the USA is the cheap ramen noodle soups and the instant lunch cups. And I'll admit, I've softened on some of those American flavors recently, even though I'm not like crazy about the noodle quality. And so here, I was finally able to find one of Maruchan's Japanese products in my local H-Mart, and it has an English ingredient list, meaning it's packaged for English-speaking exports. Does this mean that fancier Maruchan products are about to become easier to find in the US? God, I hope so. So as I said, my H-Mart carries this, and you can find this on Amazon or other online storefronts for a bit of a markup, but I paid $3.49 for this appropriately 3.49 ounce cup. Now you may be wondering, what is Midori no Tanuki? If you're already a fan of melon liquor and Super Mario Brothers, you might be able to figure out that that translates to green raccoon. And I have no idea why this particular dish is called that, but apparently it refers to these noodles combined with this fried piece of tempura batter that you see on the cover, which is called tenkatsu. The noodles are soba noodles, which are made from buckwheat and wheat flour, which give it a distinctive color, taste, and texture. So let's pop this open and see all that. But first, sodium warning. This is 2,440 milligrams of sodium in a fairly small-sized bowl. So this is not for a sodium intolerant person with a big appetite. Just warning you. Now inside, as promised, we've got the tenkatsu, some brown soba noodles, and a side-by-side pack of broth powder and what I assume is flakes. Now this contains things like soy sauce, powdered onion, carrot, shrimp, and tuna, probably meaning bonito. So this should be an umami-forward dashi soy broth with some sweetness, I'm guessing. So let me put all this in there, cook it, and we'll find out. Now unfortunately, there's no English instructions on the bowl, but thanks to the magic of the internet, I know that these should steep in boiling water for 3 minutes, covered up. And as always, unless the packaging says you can microwave something, don't do it. Do not microwave this. This is not a microwave-safe bowl. So let me put in the broth in this flake packet. Oh yeah, super, super fishy, smoky smell. All right, I'm gonna go steep this and be right back. And here we go. And I might have messed up by putting the powder directly on the tempura cake. So allow me to stir that up a little bit and break up the cake some, obviously, so I can eat it. All right, that should be good enough. So you can kind of see that that tempura cake got soft, almost like a pancake or fritter. And the broth aroma is for sure that smoky, fishy smell of bonito, which I love. But if you don't like fish, I can already tell you're probably not going to like this. So let's dig in and see what we've got here. All right, let's start with the noodles. If you've had soba noodles before, not really any surprises here. They're starchy, robust, a little brittle, decent chew, pretty good for an instant product. I'm gonna give the noodles a 7 out of 10. Let's talk about spiciness. Unbeknownst to me, in the flake packet, and this is my fault for kind of skimming the ingredients, but there are red pepper flakes in here. Very small, pretty much here for flavor and not for spiciness as far as I can tell. I don't detect any pepper spice. However, I think if you're overly sensitive to a small amount of red pepper flakes, this might cautiously put this at about a 0.5 out of 10 for spice for you. So I'm gonna score it that way with a fair warning, but really this is very, very mild. All right, so let's talk about the flavor of the broth and then get into the tempura. The broth is a very salty blend of soy sauce and onion and smoky bonito fish flavor. It's nice, but it does come across very salty. I don't know if this is something that I would want to eat all the time because of how salty it is. I might even have a little trouble finishing this broth because of how salty my initial impressions were, but it is packed full of flavor. As far as the flakes go, some little bits of green onion in here. Not doing a whole lot. There is already powdered onion in the broth, so they're not adding anything besides a little bit of texture. But speaking of texture, let's talk about the tempura. The outside of the tempura ring has this soft, pancakey texture to it, and the more middle part that had those orange bits in it has a slightly crispier, fritter texture to it. Additionally, not just from a texture standpoint, but from a flavor standpoint, the tempura itself has a very nice fried oniony flavor. It's great. It's the star of the show here. Broken up and mixed in with these noodles so that you can eat chunks of it as you're going through this. It's wonderful. Great flavor, great texture, really cool add-in. So as an overall score, I dig the noodles. I like the broth, but it is very fishy and salty, so it's not something I would want to eat every day. And I do love this tempura cake. So I think this is worth an 8 out of 10 as an overall score. Really cool product. Okay, fantastic. What a neat experience. I can't say I've ever had anything like this before, and that's always one of my favorite things when I do a review, you know, trying something completely new to my palate. So this is absolutely worth a purchase if you like tempura with your noodles, and I think that this also means that I'm going to prioritize a sort of companion product to this that I found as my next review. So that'll be another Maruchan video coming soon. Please watch that when it drops. Be sure to leave some comments if you like. Tell me your favorite Maruchan products, whether they're American or Japanese. And remember to check out the rest of my content if you'd like to continue on this noodle journey with me.